Right, so there are three things that I want to do before the end of today's stream, and that's first of all, go in here and get the final boss done, get the final boss completed, uh, and beaten. I also want to go into the Polis replica and get started unlocking the some of the whatchamacallit, friggin' Among Us characters. I think I maybe want to. Yeah, I maybe want to go into both the Polis replica and the Contra stage and just unlock the first two characters from both of those DLCs so that I'm able to crack out a video for both of those. Relatively soon for both of those. I don't know. The aim is to be a busy boy in the next few months, because not only that, we are now beginning the ramp up and gear up towards Thankmas. So I really want the next few the next like 2 months worth of streams, or the next like month and a bit worth of streams to go really smoothly. And the the idea is that I want to get stuff cleared out of my backlog. So that being Prince of Persia, I want to clear out. I want to get up to date with Vampire Survivors. I think because I'm just enjoying this game so much more than anything else at the moment, I'm gonna focus my attention at the moment into clearing out Vampire Survivors, even if it's not doing the best on the channel at the moment. I think the videos are doing great, but for some reason the streams aren't pulling in the same amount of interest. I guess we're done with garlic. But enough talk. Have at you. Okay. Hmm. I think clock may have been the wrong thing to go in this with. The more just like chip damage I can do, I think the better. Ooh. I think shields might be the best. And then out of that, because everything else needed a double or a counterpart. I noticed there's something that I think we've chosen like the wrong fucking build for this. I think just straight up the wrong build. Yeah, our damage output just is not enough. The fuck? So you just get an instant kill. Damage. We need all the damage we can get. maybe this isn't a bad... The fuck is going on? What the fuck? What am I even looking at? What am I looking at? Genuinely. What? Congratulations, Iguana, Gallo, Valletta. The vampire is not here. Perhaps we shall find them in another world if you'll just take my hand. What? Greatest Jubilee has a chance to summon light sources. Best with luck. I guess since this is the only time that we're gonna get the fact that this has been made by one man is incredible. It's insane. One man, this whole thing. Incredible. Incredible. Great. Just a really amazing experience through and through. It's the only time I'm going to be able to say this. I'm by no means done with Vampire Survivors in any way, shape, or form. But this is the only time that I'm going to be able to... Okay, that's kind of fun. It's tangible only in the inverted inlaid library. The bottom of Gallo Tower. Investigate the bottom of Gallo Tower. Be a good boy in Molise. Okay, so get to the bottom of Gallo Tower. First thing I'm gonna do is go to and take Maruto to Astral Stare. Enemies grow stronger with time. A hallway used to reach other worlds and dimensions. It's dangerous to venture through alone, but you probably won't listen to me anyway, will you? What's replica? Yeah, I'll go into here. Arcanas. to be fair, I think I will try and pick up what's it? Fireworks. This run through, or if it shows up, I'll pick it up. How is everybody doing anyway? People let me know how audio is as well. To be fair, for a final boss, I was expecting for Vampire Survivors anyway. But how long it takes to beat some regular enemies, I was expecting a little bit more. It is weird to see that apparently there's a DC Vampire Survivors clone coming out soon. That's like officially licensed and everything. It's not like one of these third party things. And to be fair, I feel like they should have just straight up gone down the console route. Just make it a console game. Because they're trying to tie it into this like animated series. But I do genuinely believe that the people that are upset with DC at the moment, and the people that aren't enjoying DC at the moment are not reading comic books. Are just not picking up the week to week comic books, because not only has absolute power been insanely good, we've also got stuff like Absolute, All In, the new Justice League is starting soon. You know, there's a lot of things that have come out in recent years. On the DC side, Flash is amazing. Apparently Batman's been really good. Superman has been consistently, like, very good. Like, Superman has been the best. He's the best it's been, solidly, for like, the entire run, since Joshua Williamson started his run on it. And it kind of sucks that I don't do the week-to-week comic reviews anymore, because I'd love to just sit and gush about... I would love to be able to just sit and gush about comics for, like, hours on end. And maybe I just will. Maybe that's what my streams will end up being. But I just get so annoyed by people who are constantly like, James Gunn's putting DC down the shitter, when not only do non-comic book readers that are fans of DC have the fucking Penguin show, which is insane. The best thing DC has had in a decade, and it has nothing. Yes, it's a spin-off of the Batman, which is a great film, but also it kind of has nothing to do with. It's definitely got nothing to do with James Gunn, apart from maybe like some insight. But I feel like people aren't giving James Gunn any time to cook. You know, because we're seeing casting announcements. As much as I've seen some people not vibe with the castings for both the Green Lanterns recently, which I will say, casting Hal Jordan as like a 50-something-year-old is weird. I don't get it. I wouldn't have. I would have cast Glenn Powell as Hal Jordan. 100%. Like, he's Hal Jordan in my eyes. Like, that is what I picture Hal Jordan as. I would also say he could probably be a good Green Arrow. Just make him green. Just make him some variation of green. I don't see him as Batman in any way, shape, or form. Make him frickin' Swamp Thing, maybe. But yeah, having having it be Carl Chandler makes me think that Hal Jordan's probably gonna die in that series pretty early. Like, the mystery is gonna be either Hal Jordan is dying, or he becomes Parallax. And considering the last Green Lantern, the last live-action Green Lantern thing that used Parallax, was critically panned, and most fans agree that it sucked, and an entire franchise of films has been birthed, essentially just to piss on the Green Lantern movie, and to turn it into a complete laughingstock, which is what that film deserves. Being completely honest, it's what that game 100% deserves. It's what that film deserves. Sorry. Flash Arrow is Racer. Summon Knight is Duplicator, so I think I might want to do that. Of course I get friggin' Bracer. I think I will be back in 2 seconds. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in 2 seconds, and yeah, I'll see you guys in a minute. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Okay, it's just a map. Hey, how's it going? Just what I do wanna. Where's the friggin' coffin? The question mark. Okay, directly down. Yeah, long time no see. How is life treating you? Of course, I'm not being given anything that actually helps me out. Oh, by the way, have you got, like, Discord or anything? Because if you do, I can send you a link to the Discord server, and then you might get... Because I know YouTube is a bit weird with, like, sending notifications, and just being a part of the Discord means you'll get the notifications a lot quicker, even if you don't necessarily want to engage in the community that much. Which, to be fair, the community doesn't want to engage in the community that much. But I can send you a link to Discord if you so desire it. And yeah, I'm doing all right. Not really much to comment on. We did recently pass, not technically a milestone, but I consider it a milestone because for the past 4 years I've been trying to get... I've been stuck in the 1060 area when it comes to, like, subscriber number. And recently, we did actually reach 1070 subscribers. So, 4 years of being stuck on 1066 and flip-flopping between, 1066, 1067, 1068, and then back down to the 150s, into 1050s, and then into the 1070s for like a week or so, and then going back. The one thing I do not want to happen now is to fall back down. So if we can keep the subscription growth going, for especially going into the next couple of months, because we are every year around the December time. If you are aware, Jacksepticeye does a thing every so often, or every year, called Thankmas, and I usually try and get involved with that as well. Not that I have any, like, connection to him in any way, but the Thankmas streams for the last few years have been opened to the community. So Tiltify actually allows creators or people that set up fundraisers to set it up as a group fundraiser, so anyone can use their streams to raise money for a collective goal, and that's what Thankmas is. So I try and do my bit every year for December, doing a different like marathon kind of run, or using like new game release, and trying to use that to funnel some kind of like awareness towards whatever charity Thankmas is raising money for on that year. This year it's for Samaritans and the Crisis and for the Crisis text line. Two incredibly important mental health charities. If you know me in any way, you know that I every year do a big. I recently just got finished with a massive month long marathon of streams throughout August, raising money for Mind. So raising money for mental health charities and mental health in general is a massive thing that I try and do on the channel and try and bring attention to. So, you know, it's kind of the perfect one for me to help raise money for this year as well. Let's get this box open and see what's in it. If people want to join the server, there is a link in the anyone who wants to join the Discord, there is a link to it in the chat right now. Oh, I don't need to worry. Damn it. Oh, now we've got to deal with these, like, pickle monsters. The thing is with this map, at least it does actually, like, kind of force you into learning the layout. Oh, there's an opening there! Why? That's so annoying. As far as I'm aware, all of these designs are, like, new. None of them are pre-existing in the Among Us universe or lore. It is weird that we live in a world where people have probably done videos on Among Us lore. Like, I haven't, like, seeked it out, because I don't care, but it probably exists. Like, in the same way that people do videos on, like, Five Nights at Freddy's lore. I haven't sought it out, because I don't care. But I know that that exists only because one of the biggest gaming channels on the planet, or on the platform, is the channel that does it. It is mad how this is, like, just the perfect video game. Like, if anyone says they don't like Vampire Survivors, they're lying. Or they haven't played it. And if anyone says that they haven't played Vampire Survivors, they're lying. Or they need to be shot. For legal reasons, that's a joke. We got him. We got the, crewmate? Crewman? I think it's just crewmate Dino, or Dino. I think it's Dino. I like his hot dogs. I know it's not the typical, like, court of conversation. I don't even know if that's a sentence that makes sense. I don't know if this... I know this isn't the usual, like, type of conversation that we have on the channel, and it isn't related to anything that I normally talk about. But has anyone been watching Big Brother recently? I don't know, I'm a sucker for shit TV like that. And it is... It is weird how I always end up liking, or not liking, but it always ends up being the outwardly right-wing, or it always ends up being the people that are in favor of politicians that you are not, or that are in favor of... I don't want to speak for the people watching the stream. It always ends up being the people who are in favor of, like... It always ends up being conservatives that end up being likable. Which is weird. I wouldn't even say likable, I'd just say like the least annoying people on the show, because I don't know, it's interesting, like, because obviously I am in no way right-wing. Like, I am the most egregiously, like, annoyingly centrist person you could ever meet. Like, I'm slightly leaning to the left, but I also... Like, I can comfortably sit here and say, like, I'm aggressively centrist. Like, to the point where I don't really have an opinion. My opinion is what I assume is just the most bog standard normal opinion you can think of. Like, I think you treat everyone with respect. Everyone is worth everything you listen to, what everyone has to say. And you judge people by their actions, not by their appearance. Like, that is the extent of my that is the extent of, like, my political values or beliefs. That is the extent of it. That, and we shouldn't be sending arms to Israel. But then we touch into parts of politics that YouTube does not like me talking about, so I don't know. Something that was touched on in Jacksepticeye's video today, the one that was talking about, the one that was doing the big Thankmas announcement, is that like this idea that the internet has become more angry, or this idea that the internet is becoming more angry. And I don't know... I don't know if it is because... I don't know if it's because the... It used to be that it was exclusively Twitter where the angriest or the most, like, insane people went. But now with like the rise of TikTok, now with like Twitter essentially killing itself, slowly killing itself, the rise of people like Andrew Tate, the rise of like we're seeing these absolute gibbons be given platforms. And I think because those are the voices being amplified, or those are the voices that we're seeing, like, because they do get attention, because they are, even if people are talking about them negatively, they're still talking about them. They're still, like, even, like, any press is good press, if that makes sense. So I think seeing, like, if the people that you're listening to and the echo chambers that you're falling in are angry, then that's going to make you an angry person as well. Like, if the echo chambers that you subscribe to are falling into, like, are kind of like not patronizing, but like are kind of adding to things that you already had were questioning, or like if say like you're like a younger guy who's struggling to get a girlfriend, and you stumble across an Andrew Tate video where you have this, like, you have this conventionally attractive guy, and by that I mean he's got a jawline, he's got muscles, he's what the average person would say is attractive. You know, if you're in that position, you stumble across that, and you've got someone essentially telling you it's the woman's fault, all of your problems and all of the reasons why you're not getting the attention that you deserve is because of women. You're gonna be prone to believe it. And then if you're prone to believe that, you're then already in a mindset of, oh, he said this, it means this is right, which means if he says like, oh, hitting a woman is right, then it must be, because he said it. And he says it's okay to if it's okay to do grievous bodily harm to a woman, then it must be okay because he's never been wrong before. And then when he starts getting like getting arrested and being questioned, and you're like, why don't people see what I see? Why don't people agree with this person? Oh, it must be woke media. It must be because of woke. And I genuinely believe people who use the word woke unironically, whether you are on the left or the right, just lose their whole argument then and there. Like, if you're on the right, you're using it as an insult, which, I mean, it's a word devoid of meaning, really. Like, as a word, what does woke actually mean? Outside of the dictionary definition of woke, which is, I woke up. Which is the future tense of being asleep. It's the opposite of being asleep is being awoken or being woke. But no, if you're saying woke is like another way of saying you're progressive, or you're like pro the rights of minorities, or you're just like saying the word woke as like, this is what's wrong with all of the media that we consume. It's that it's trying to pander towards, because what I mean by me being aggressively centrist is I do believe that I'm obviously pro gay rights, marriage, trans rights, human rights in general. Obviously, I think anyone who isn't, needs to have a look in a mirror. I think if you're honest, I think if your biggest problem is, if you wake up and your biggest worry of the day is like whether a complete stranger identifies as a man or a woman, I think you've lived a very good life. I look at things like our ex-Prime Minister thinking or believing that there's some kind of like trans mafia that's trying to take over the government. I look at stuff like that and I just think, you need to stop with the drugs, man. You need to put down the cannabis. You need to put down the crack cocaine. You need to stop whatever you're smoking is not doing you any good. I know I know they're trying to promote CBD, but maybe you should stop using it. Um, but I also think there is a problem with like modern media pandering and like mainly pandering to minorities. I think um it's why I don't like Barbie. I think it's pandering towards women. I don't think it necessarily is I don't think it's necessarily as intelligent as people say it is. I think the film is funny, it's entertaining, but it does suffer the problem of being a feminist movie where the most interesting character, or the most compelling character, is the male lead. But I also think that it's I do think that it's pandering, and I do think that it is devoid of subtlety. Especially when it came out the same day as Oppenheimer, which is and they're completely different movies. You can't really compare either of them at all. But Oppenheimer conveys its message of of the human condition so much, and nothing to discredit Barbie, because it was incredibly successful. A lot of people got a lot from that movie, including Greta Gerwig, who made a lot of money from it. Probably. It just clearly wasn't for me. I also don't I also don't think the ending is that great. Like the message of the movie is that it the message of the movie is all about equality, but but it's the but it still ends with being Barbie Land. It still, ends with the men basically just being objects for the women to ogle at and not being much else. Ken doesn't really evolve and grow. He goes from being a dumb surfer dude who's infatuated with Barbie to being a dumb American, typical American man who's infatuated with horses and just being a man, uh, to being a dumb guy infatuated with Barbie again, and not really growing or changing outside of that. Is that a problem? No. I think for a kids feminist movie, it's fine. But also, I think the ending and the the moral of the story being that women are better than men. I think, or that being the ending of at least Barbie Land, or and then Barbie going into the real world. I don't necessarily vibe with that. I think and I don't know why I've spent so long talking about Barbie, but I think the ending should have been Barbie frickin' becomes president of Barbie Land or whatever, and implements everything and makes Barbie Land the utopia for both Barbies and Kens. And maybe, just maybe, everyone gets a different name. So that it doesn't become as homogenized. And that maybe, everyone can see themselves in a Barbie action figure because they're not just blank Barbie, blank Barbie, blank Barbie, blank Barbie, blank Ken, blank Ken, blank Ken, blank Ken. I don't know. Maybe that's just my opinion anyway. I just think that was the best example as to what I could see. We're also seeing it in like Rings of Power. We're seeing it where we're just getting even like The Good Doctor, for example. Do I think we should get characters with autism represented in TV shows and movies? Yes, 100%. Do I think that show, or what I've seen of that show, because to be fair, I haven't seen a lot of it, but do I think what I've seen of that show is respectful to people who have autism? Not at all. Not at all. I have not met or seen a single person with autism that acts like... Also, casting someone who isn't autistic to play an autistic person, just... You're never gonna get it right. But then you've got movies like Black Panther and Black Panther Forever, which, nail representation. Probably because they're directed by a black guy who knows what he's talking about. And then Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is a great kung fu movie and a beautiful showcase of Asian architecture. As much as that's not my favourite MCU movie, and it's not even my favourite MCU movie to come out post-Endgame, I'd say it's one of the weaker ones, actually. I do think that as far as showcase, it doesn't pander to Asians, I don't think. And it doesn't try too hard to be progressive. It's just kind of a movie that just happens to have Asian stuff in it. And I feel like that's the best kind of... It just happens to be a movie that's about Asian people in an Asian location. which does teach you a little bit about China, but it doesn't beat you over the head with it. It doesn't beat you over the head with like these. This is with like this is what we are. These are our problems. You know, we all beat it by sitting around singing Kumbaya. And I do think you can. I think you can show off issues without beating people over the head with it. It's one of my biggest problems with Black Lightning. I do think it tried too hard to have stuff mirror real world events. When I mean, you can still talk about politics and talk about things that are happening in the real world in your escapist fictional TV show. But make it fit in with the overarching story and have it make sense as to why it happens. Like, don't have it be a C or D plot that's mentioned at the end of the episode. Just rubs me the wrong way a little bit. But with that being said, that is going to be the end of this stream today. I will see you guys tomorrow. I will get a video up tomorrow around midday about Vampire Survivors, and then I'm going to get and then the stream will be at the end of the day, same time as today.